Now, you can imagine on Christmas Day, I didn't have what to eat. I started walking on the road begging for what to eat until somebody gave me food to eat.
Wow.
That was the worst period of my life.
Hello there. Welcome once again to the Just Start podcast, where we bring you stories, conversations, and insights around culture shaping and business from the city of Jos. And I'm your host. My name is Timothy Kunat. And it's always exciting to be with you, be on your screens, be with you wherever you are, either you're listening in or you're watching this. It's always exciting bringing you these sessions where we just have very heart-to-heart conversations, with amazing people who've done tremendous stuff, both here in Jos and basically outside Jos, right? And every week we bring you these sessions, and I'm sure that you can tell that it's been going from one level of amazing to another level of amazing, right? And you know the drill, right? So as you're watching me right now, there are 4 things I need you to do for me, right? Click on the like button, share this video with everyone in your circle. You can host a watch party if you like, but let's get this to as many people as possible, right? Comment, leave a comment. Let us know the things that you heard that resonates with you, or if you have questions, or where you're watching from. Comment. So like, share, comment, and let's get on this together. All right, exciting session that I have for you today. And today I am with someone who is a serial entrepreneur, an astute businessman who you probably have heard of, who you probably know, and very popularly he is known as the founder of Kefiano Autos. I'm here with Chief Kefas Wungak. It's really good to have you today, sir.
Thank you. It's equally a pleasure to be here. And I'm so excited. The reason I'm excited is because I don't know you people have an organized studio or setting that does this good job. I call it good job because a lot of people on the Plateau and in Nigeria need a lot of awareness, need a lot of people to come talk to make them understand how they can go through a journey in different phases. So I think you guys are doing an amazing job.
Thank you, sir.
I truly so recommend. I wasn't expecting to see what I'm seeing here. So I think it's a big deal for me. And this is for anybody that knows me, amongst the youth on the Plateau. This is what I advocate for. This is what I push for people to learn how to be independent. And I think with this, I know that you guys are on the right track.
Thank you.
So I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. How have you been generally?
Yeah, I've been good as always. Perfect. That's what I can say. For now, thank God, everything moving as planned. So we're grateful.
You recently came back to Jos in that sense with a bang with Chillers by New Yorker. And I'm sure you've been extremely busy ever since then. How has the journey been with that so far?
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of ups and downs, in trying to get to do what is right. There are different setbacks from people you engage to do the job and all that. I don't want to talk about that because some of the experience too are just so crazy. And some of the experience too has to do with our own indigenous people that you contract, give a job to want to deliver, but then they end up disappointing. It's part of some of the things and challenges I know that as the interview is going on, we need to discuss and address because
Yes.
part of the issues people have in business in trying to push people to do the right thing is the mindset of the people and trying to do what is right. So it's a whole lot of challenges, but of course, one thing with some of us that have been in the field, no matter the challenge, once you are focused and determined, we will still execute at the end of the day. I think the zeal to get it right is what has helped us to get to the level of the conclusion of the project.
Yeah.
And of course, being busy about the place, not really, because it is not my major source of income.
Yeah.
trust me, it's something that I just feel I should do by the side for Plateau and for the Plateau people, which I'm happy I have done it. There are people running the management. My own is the investment part of it. So I think everything is going on well now. No issues for now. So all I can say is no regrets, and I'm sure we're going to get there and equally do more
Yeah.
in a few time to come by the grace of God.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's take you back a little bit because always been curious about your entrepreneurial journey. How you started. Where did you start from? Have you always been this Chief Kefas that we now know, right? Or was there a story of grinding and all of that? How did you start? Where did you start from? And did possibly your background have a role to play in the drive to success for you?
Anyway, it's a long story, but we'll just try to cut it short and narrate it the little way just to pass the right message, right? I I was born from one of the most poorest home anybody can think of, and that's the truth, you know. And anytime I have an opportunity to talk about this story, my conclusion and part of the story will always be that I am so proud and happy that I came from a poor home because it has its own advantage, and that's the truth. Now, what am I trying to say? I come from a background that was very tough. My father was a policeman and at the same time a pastor. And in all the years of my father, 35 years, he never passed the rank of inspector of police. So
Wow.
imagine what an inspector of police is today, and imagine what an inspector of police used to be coming, do you understand,
Yeah.
from those days. But again, my father was a disciplinarian, and in my father's family, that's the father's side, I don't see anybody that's into business or that have done business before, nothing outside myself. I think in the family, I think I'm among the first people that I say or that I know that I started business. Of course, yes, my mom used to be a trader, you know, a market woman that buys greens, you know, to go to sell. But again, my passion in business, came out of the zeal to want to make it in life. It came out of the zeal to want to stand different and be outstanding in the family, in my tribe, and on the plateau. It's something that I kept talking to myself over time, even when I was coming up or growing up as a child, from my difficult primary school days to my secondary school days, right? And after that, I've always thinking of doing something different, you know? And it's a long story, trust me, because I remember after my school, the first thing I was opportune to do was my elder sister got me a job with Delta State University at Abuja. So I think I worked with them for like a year to two, thereabouts. Then, if you remember, during the satellite campus period, you know, I was one of the youngest university program coordinator of Delta State University at Abuja, the satellite campus in Makodi. You know, that was the first thing I did after schooling. And as God would do it, in 2000, if you remember, there was a closure of satellite campuses all over Nigeria by Obasanjo. And that was when distance learning was introduced.
Yeah.
And that was how I lost the job, you know. And so after that period, that was the same period that my father left the police work and got retired. And so he was paid his pension and gratuity. And amongst his children were 5 in number. I am the last born. So he decided to call all of us and said his spirit is telling him to give me some part of his retirement benefit.
Wow.
So you can imagine what will be going on in the minds of my elder ones, you know? And like I said, I'm the last born of my father. That's the truth. And even until he died, I'm his last son. Now, again, it became a drama. And like I said, my father's a disciplinarian, and he insisted that that is what his mind is telling him.
Wow.
You know? And so he gave me 200,000 naira then as part of his retirement benefits.
Wow.
And he told me, he said, if I do well, I am the one that will take care of the family. If I don't do well, it's my business. Him, he doesn't have much this on earth. I know, so I need to know what to do, And so he gave me the 200,000 naira, and that was the beginning of my journey. And the passion in me took me to a level that I really wanted to succeed at, and knowing that I have a burden and a responsibility of a whole family, I began to think, how will I get it right? And so I called a friend of mine. His name is George. He lives in America now. And I told him, I said, my dad gave me 200,000 naira, and I really don't know what to do, first and foremost. And so he said, no, that I should wait for him. He's going to come and meet me in Makurdi then. I said, fine. So before I knew it, he came down from Lagos, because he lives in Lagos. Came down from Lagos, and we had a discussion. And he told me that with this 200,000 naira, I can start buying a car and sell. And I can start that as a business. So I agree with him, because now, number one, you see, you can make a living out of what you were lacking as a child coming up. Now, what am I trying to say? Like I said, I grew up in a very poor family background. The highest I've seen in my life was my father was driving a bike, a motorcycle, right? And so I never had that luxury as a child.
Of riding in a car.
Yes, do you understand? And to see a family like other kids are doing, in a car.
In a car.
And so, when my friend told me that, immediately the love for car and for luxury came to my head, and I agree with him immediately, because in my head then, I was thinking, as a young man that I am, because I think I was just 22, 23 then, I said, I'm going to own a car. I wasn't even looking at it from the business perspective yet. Mine is that I'm excited that I'm going to have a car. Do you understand? And so, we went to Cotonou then, bought a Honda Civic. The first car I've ever bought in my life, and I've driven, was a Honda Civic, the two-door Honda Civic, And so when I came down with it in Makurdi, within the space of 2-3 weeks, I would never forget, some guy bought the car from me at 270,000 naira.
Wow.
And then I made a profit of 70,000 naira. So imagine the capital was 200, and I made a profit of 70,000 naira in the space of 2-3 weeks, right? Let me say 3 weeks, because if you're going to let me say 1 month, because you're going to add to the number of time you travel to Cotonou to buy the car, and when the car comes in, and so let's say in the period of 1 month, I was able to make 70,000 naira, and go back on record and check. In the year 2000, 2001, 99, the highest paid civil servant that seemed to be doing well, I think salary then was around 20, 25, 30,000 naira, right? And I was earning as a salary then, as a program coordinator in the university, I was earning 35,000 naira a month. Do you understand? Yeah. As my salary. Now, I have sold a car and I've made 70,000 naira.
You made your 2 month salary.
Fantastic. So I now looked at it and I told myself, I said, if I am able to sell 2-3 cars in a month or more, that means I'll be making more money. And so I now decided this is the way forward for me. And that was when I took a decision that I will never work for anybody in my life. And that has been the journey till today. There are other stories back to back, which probably might fall in based on the kind of question that you asked me, right? Because the journey is not as smooth as people say it. Trust me, there's a lot of ups and downs. Trust me, right? Business is not the way people look at it. Now, I can tell you that I have mastered a lot of things when it comes to business. I know when challenges are coming, when they come, and how to manage them, and how to be resilient until the period passes, because there are different periods of ups and downs in any kind of business that you do. There's nothing in this life that is a luxury. Trust me, there are challenges. I can tell you this for free. Whether you work for government, whether you're in the private sector, no matter what you do, there are challenges. Even in this studio that you are, there are challenges. Now, your resilience and the experience that you have over time is what is going to help you manage the situations that you find yourself.
Very true.
Do you understand? And now I want to believe strongly that you did not just wake up, just have money, and just decide to go to the market and buy cameras, buy everything to come and put in this studio. I want to believe that probably you started from somewhere and you've grown some little experience to know that, yeah, this is how I want to drive this project. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so it's same with every kind of business, but then there are challenges. And that is why I said to you again, when I started in my introduction, I said, I am very proud that I am coming from a poor family background. Because part of the discipline that you get in trying to succeed in life is that you keep getting hunger to want to grow. And that is the truth. Do you understand? And again, apart from that, the truth is this. Knowing where you're coming from, you don't want to go back to that same situation or the background you find yourself. You get, so it helps you to manage what you get very well, because you are always having the mindset that you know the difference between being poor and being rich.
Very true.
And I think you are going to be the most stupid person in this life, right? Coming from a poor family background, and God is helping you to get out of it, and then you wouldn't manage what you have well to want to go back to that same background. Trust me, you must be the most useless person. And so that background too helps you in succeeding in getting to where you need to get to in life. So it's a whole lot, you understand, of marriage together, of all this journey and trying to succeed. Trust me, the ecosystem is all the same in trying to succeed, right? But the situations might be different in different businesses. But again, the discipline is the same. The consistency has to be the same. The mindset has to be the same. And that is what I know about business. And the most important thing that, like I tell people all the time in business, is you must have the spirit or the mind of being patient. The problem with the generation now is you want to start something today and start making money. No. And don't ever be in a hurry to make it in this life, yeah? Just go through the processes, the ladder. In climbing that ladder, there's going to be a place that you have to, is a must for you to miss your step, right? How you correct that step and climb to the next stage in the ladder is what is very important. You understand? So it's a whole lot. And that's why I tell people today, by my experience. Now, like I said, I've been doing this since 2001. If I'm not mistaken now, this should be about 25 years, right?
Yeah.
It would be very stupid for me not to be able to groom people or tell people about business, about entrepreneurship, about... Now, it's not what I study in school, and you do not have to study it in school. That's why I tell anybody, listen, bring any professor of business admin today in any field that will floor him. Trust me, it's based on what experience, nothing else, because I practicalize everything that I've seen and I know what it is rather than just reading the books.
Yeah. There are 4 things you said: discipline, consistency, patience, and mindset. And these have been the things that you've literally carried along with you through the journey.
These are the
over
major
these 25
drivers of
years.
any successful businessman, trust me.
Now, you said something, and you said when... let me paraphrase it. You said, knowing how to come out of when things like spoil, right? You have a challenges, things have gone south. You have a challenge, things have gone south, and then you have find a way out of that. Can you share one major challenge that got you to that place where you had
a lot of challenges, but I'll tell you the most difficult challenge that almost brought me down during that period, and that is why I said that you must learn to be sincere and consistent, right? And focus. Now, business has a lot to do with integrity, whether you like it or not. That's the major thing that you need in every business, integrity, right? And so I remember there was a period after I sold the Honda Civic that I said to you, right? I went back and I bought a Honda Prelude. You know Honda Prelude, the one that once you on the headlight, it flips up. The headlight flips up, right? That was my second car in life. And so when I bought the Honda Prelude, it was a white Honda Prelude. Before then, after I bought the Honda Civic and I sold it for 270,000 naira, like I said to you, my mindset changed completely from working for anybody and to dive into business. As I then again, for everybody that is a graduate that has finished from school or that is doing one thing or the other, all the dream for everybody is to do a white collar job. Trust me. Young people don't want to go into businesses. Even now, it's still happening, especially for the Plateau youth, which is one of the major problems I have with the Plateau young man.
Yeah.
You know, a Plateau boy will start his primary, secondary, and university here on the Plateau. The only thing that takes him outside Plateau is what? NYC. And once he finishes, he runs and come back to Plateau and want to look for one civil service job or want to start following the politician. And then that's where you see them very active on social media, insulting anybody that is not responding to them. And I think that's a serious setback for Plateau youth. Trust me, which is another topic that we should talk about. I have a serious challenge with that, right?
We'll get there.
Now, let me say this on a very serious note. You cannot succeed without having challenges, and that challenges is what is going to shape you. And like I said, I have a problem with Plateau youth going out and coming back immediately. On the Plateau, you see a young man of the age of 30, 35, 40 years still staying in his parents' house, you know, even having issues with his parents for cooking and not putting meat in his plates, which is very wrong. Do you understand? Anyway, going back to the major topic we're talking about, like I said, now, after I sold the Honda Civic, there was an opportunity within that period. I call it an opportunity because that's one thing that transformed my life completely. If you remember, there was a 2 million man march for Abacha then in Abuja. Now, that 2 million man march, I think every state was mobilized to get some youths to come to Abuja to do the 2 million man march for Abacha. I was among the people that left from Benue to Abuja. And so when I got to Abuja, I now saw the beautiful roads, the high rising. Those are things that I have never seen in my life, both in Benue and Plateau growing up as a child. So I saw a different Nigeria completely. And I saw a different opportunity completely. Now, when I was leaving Abuja, my mindset changes completely. I got back to Makurdi. I was in my bed one evening and I started thinking, I said, Kefas, you said you want to succeed in life and you are into car business now. You just started buying a car and you've just gone to buy the second car and now you're here. Now, what is your dream? How big do you want to become? Which is another thing in business. If you are in any business, you must look at your target audience. What do you intend to achieve in that particular business that you want to do? You must have a projection. Now, and that is why, again, in every business that you do, location is very key. Even in just here, do you understand?
Yes.
You cannot go and build a 3-star or 5-star hotel somewhere around Do at the back that you expect people to go there and stay. No, location is key. The people that build house in GRA Rayfield will be making more money than you. So location is key. Now, in thinking that, I now told myself, Benue State is a civil service state. If I am to buy these cars and come in, how many people will be buying this thing from me over time? Now, comparing what I have seen in Benue and the Abuja that I've seen, that I see something different, I told myself that if I really want to grow, that means I have to relocate from Makurdi, Benue State to Abuja. Now, when I got back to Makurdi, I met my dad and I told him, I want to relocate to Makurdi. My father said no.
You want to relocate to Abuja?
To Abuja, sorry. He said, no, that is not possible. I can't. That who do I know in Abuja? I said, I don't know anybody. He said, so how do you want to go to Abuja? I said, sir, let me just go to Abuja. I said, I have friends that no matter what it is, I will look for them and I will survive. He said, no. I insisted. I said, listen, my spirit is pushing me to go to Abuja because if I'm here, my opportunities will be limited. And he said, okay, fine. If I insist, I can go. I said, fine. So I made my arrangement. I called my friend in Lagos. I was just bold. Trust me, I don't know anybody in Abuja. And I told my father, I said, listen, suffering does not kill anybody. And I said, I need to take a step for me to know where my destiny lies. He said, okay, no problem. If I insist, I can go. But I should remember what he said to me, that if I do well, it's for the family. If I don't do well, it's my business. So now, I left. When I left, before I left, I spoke to my friend that I said I called from Lagos.
Yeah.
Said I'm moving to Abuja, but I don't know anybody. And he said, no, if I go, that he has a friend, one Igbo guy. His name is Udoka.
Okay.
You know, that if I go, I should go and meet him that's going to call him. I said, fine. So I left. Now, that was even the period I just learned. Don't forget I said to you that my first car was a Honda Civic. I've never had a car in my life, so I don't know how to drive. I used one woman. She's late now. It was her driver. Anytime, she was one of my students, funny enough, in that satellite campus. So anytime her driver brings her in school, or he sends her she sent him anywhere. He will come to my place, teach me how to drive before he goes and deliver her message. So I took that opportunity, right? And I learned how to drive from that car. Now, when I bought that Honda Civic, I was still trying to manage how to drive. I was just trying to get myself perfected. So when that Honda Prelude comes, I still was learning how to drive, so I didn't know how to drive. But I was bold enough to drive from Makodi to Abuja with the car. Now, I got to Abuja, I don't know roads. For anybody that knows Abuja knows almost all the road looks the same.
The same.
And as at that time, it's more confusing because there are no structures for you to give a location. No more structures. Just the road network was there, but few high rises and few buildings, right? So when I got there, I kept missing my way until I located Zone 3 shopping complex, which was where the Igbo guy was doing his trade. He was selling office furniture. So when I got to him, we greeted. I told him I'm from George. He said, fine. Welcomed me well. We're there until in the night. When he was about closing, he closed. I was thinking I was going to follow him to his house. He said, no, I cannot go to his house. That the highest he can do for me is I should find a way to manage how to sleep inside the shop, and all that. And that he has large family, and so there's no space. I said, fine, So that first day I slept inside the shop. Second day I slept inside the shop. Third day I now said, instead of sleeping inside the shop, let me just start sleeping inside my car. So I'll park the car inside the shopping complex, collapse the seat, and I'll sleep. In the morning, I'll wake up, I'll go to the same Zone 3 shopping complex. There's a bathroom and a toilet. If I want to, I'll pay 5 naira to go to the bathroom or to the toilet. And that is how I was living the life for the next 3 months, sleeping inside the car in the shopping complex.
Wow.
Until I now discovered a Plateau guy called Subi that was into car business. In the same Zone 3, I met him somewhere around there, and I spoke to him, and he accepted me. And then he has a car shop in Zone 1, traffic light. So I moved in with him, and I moved in with him in his house in Airport Road, Chika. Anybody that knows Abuja knows Chika before Lugbe. That was where I was staying with him for over some period of time, right? Before I now started discovering some people I went to school with, some people I know in Makodi, and all that. That was the period that a lot of Benue, Plateau, Kogi, Niger people that are surrounding the FCT started floating into Abuja and getting a job, right? And so then I was even stigmatized by some of my schoolmates because, how can you finish school and you're selling car? Because at that time, all of them want to do a white-collar job. Everybody wants to work in the bank, want to be this, want to be that, But I was looking at it beyond what they were looking at. I was like, for me to be working and collecting 35,000 naira, 50,000 naira in a month, and I can sell a car and make that much money, so why wouldn't I continue the business, right? So I didn't give a fuck about what anybody is talking about. Sorry for using the F word, right? And so I just persisted and I continued. Now, I have one advantage over them that they don't have. What is the advantage that I have? That I used. That's another thing in business. Any advantage that you see, you use it very well. Now, the advantage that I had then was this. I had a car. A lot of them working in those white-collar offices never had
They
a
didn't
car.
have cars.
They had a good salary. They have where they can go to in the morning, and all that and work. But after closure of work, almost all my friends then, nobody had a car. They will call me to come and pick them in the office. Then we go and hang out and like that. So the advantage I took then, that's another advantage of having street sense. Now, listen. If you call me to come and pick you then, I'll tell you I don't have fuel. So you have to buy fuel in my car. So I was surviving by them. And if you buy fuel in my car, we'll go down to sit down in a joint. You have to buy food for me or buy a drink for me because you know I'm not working, you're working. So that's the advantage. And I took advantage of it. You understand? So at every given time, I have never lacked fuel in my car. Reason be that different people are calling me. If I finish with you, I'm jumping to that person that is calling
So
me.
you literally were just doing higher services.
Yeah, basically, but then in a package way. Anyhow you want to put it, that's cool, right? But again, I now began to have more friends cycle because I had a car. Now with that again, a lot of them now got to know that here I am selling
cars.
A lot of them again, when they want to buy their car and their friends who want to buy their cars, so they recommend me. Now I gave you this background story because I want to give you a story about the question that you asked me of the challenges that I faced, major challenge that opened my eyes and I learned a lot that have made me a different person in this business till today. Now, that period, there's a lady. Now, when I was in that Chika, a friend of mine too from Kaduna, his name is Kaza. His father was the first, is it ES or DG of National Assembly Commission during Obasanjo time, right? So he was given an official car house in Wusetu with car and everything at Parakou Crescent. Now, he's my friend and he's the only son of the father. He has other kids, but they're all women. So the boys' quarter was for his. So we, his friends then, we will go there, sit down, play with him, drink, do whatever. His father was so cool. His father doesn't even come to the boys' quarter without to know what he's doing. So now, every evening when Kazak calls me from work, I go to pick him. We go and do some things, knowing other people too. You know, we friends every evening we call ourselves to just go out. And now again, anytime I go out with Kaza, it then means that I will not go to Chika and sleep. I will sleep in Wusetu. Do you understand? In the morning. So like that. At a point, I even stayed with him for some time, you know. So within that period, he has a neighbor, one woman that her husband died. And the woman used to see me with a prelude. And so she spoke to one of her cousin, which is our friend that we used to go out with, that she wants me to buy that same type of car for her daughter. And I said, fine. So I met her, we had a discussion, and we agreed on 300,000 naira for the car.
The car.
No, sorry, I think 350,000 naira, for the car. So she said, okay, that she's going to give me a deposit of 200,000 naira. Once I bring the car, then she will complete the balance for me. And as at that time, the cost of me bringing the car was going to be around 240, 250, 260, there about 270, right? And so I called a friend of mine. His name is Pronto. He too was into the business. And so he came, met me, said, fine, that we can go to Cotonou together. We went to Cotonou. On getting to Cotonou, I saw different Honda Preludes, nice ones that don't have engine problem, that don't have any problem. And I saw the ones that have some little issues that once I fix, is going to be all right? And so my friend convinced me because the price ranges are not the same. So my friends convinced me to buy the ones that are way cheaper and that we can go and fix one or two things so that I can make more profit. So I agreed with the advice and I went and bought one of the ones that they asked me to buy and all that. So I bought it. And usually if you go to Cotonou and buy a car, you have to come back, leave. There are people that are called flyers, that they're the ones that will usually bring in the cars because you're smuggling them in, And so I left the car for them, paid them everything, and then I came back to Lagos. I can never forget, it was December. I came back to Lagos and I was in Lagos, And when I was in Lagos, the car now came in. But when the car came in, it came in with a problem. It was overheating. Now, the way these flyers drive, if they are coming from Cotonou and they have custom trying to stop them because they move in convoy at times, they shoot against the custom too and all that. Once they are in that movement, they don't stop. Even if the car is having problem, they will not stop. And that's the truth. And so the car was overheating, but they drove like that and got to Lagos. So when they got to Lagos, they handed over the car to me. I went and started the car. I discovered that the car was overheating. And because of the distance that they drove, it affected the block engine, right? That was the beginning of the nightmare that almost ruined my life on a very serious note. Now, when I discovered that, my agreement with the woman is bring the car. When I see the car, it's okay, I pay your balance. So, how do I reach to this woman now and tell her that I need money to fix the car that I bought for her that is meant to just come straight? I couldn't reach her. And don't forget that time again, I'm just starting business in the Abuja. I don't know people. So who do I ask to give me money became a problem. And so I now took the car to a mechanic. Through that, my friend that advised me wrongly, I took the car to him. And mind you, the difference then of the profit I was going to make was just around 30, 40,000 naira. But so now I got stuck in Lagos. I was with him in Lagos. He linked me up with the mechanic. The mechanic was trying his best to see what he can do on the car so that I can bring the car down to Abuja. He too, he now left me in Lagos, and went back to Abuja. So I was in Lagos alone.
And
in Lagos, I don't know anybody. He took me to a house in, what's it called? There's this military place called in Lagos. I've forgotten, but I'll remember. Not really Ojo. Yeah, there's a military barrack somewhere around, I think Ikeja also, yeah.
Okay.
This is Ikeja or mainland. I've forgotten exactly because I don't know Lagos that much, And so, Navy barrack. I was in Navy barrack with one of the officers that was his friend. So I was staying with him in his house. So my friend left me and I was there. And the mechanic was very close to the place. So I was going to see the mechanic. And every day is one story or the other. So I was in Lagos for another extra 2 weeks that got me into the Christmas period. Now, you can imagine I got stranded that on Christmas Day, I didn't have what to eat. I was hungry. A day before that day, getting to Christmas Day, I didn't have nowhere to eat. There's nobody for me to go and meet. And the military guy have gone to his service, his duty post. I was just there, nothing. Now, no matter how bad it is for anybody, no matter your background, you know that Christmas Day, in anywhere in the north or anywhere, it's like getting food to eat is the least of the issue. You must get food to eat. But I'm telling you that in Lagos, I didn't have nowhere to eat. I was hungry. I have never felt that hunger in my life ever. And so that was the first time. And that is the reason why at times I do the things that I do, people don't understand. I can never see a grown person on the street begging that I would not attend to, because what will make him to go and beg you, you can never know until you hear his story. Now, I came out in that place, that Navy town. I started walking on the road begging for what to eat until somebody gave me food to eat.
Wow.
That was the worst period of my life. You don't understand. At times, if I say this story, I break down. Yeah, and I'm almost breaking down. But that's fine. And so, the next day, I told myself, I said, no. I said, I have to leave Lagos, no matter what it is. And I said, even if it's going to cost me my life, I have to leave Lagos. So I went that evening and met the mechanic, and I told him that I want to leave. And I said, I have to leave. And he now said that he's going to advise me that this car cannot take me to Abuja, but that if I insist, that he'll just do his best, but the car cannot move more than 70, 80. That's the highest speed I can do to get to Abuja. I said, fine. I said, whatever it is that's going to cost me, I don't mind. He said, okay. So he did his best. The next day, in the morning, he released the car to me. Now, don't forget I said I didn't have money to eat. So how was I going to have money to buy fuel
the car
and go back to Abuja? And so a thought came to me that just take a bold step and move. Now, I now drove with the little fuel that was inside the car, because coming from the Cotonou, of course, I did full tank, so there was this little fuel inside it and all that. So I went towards Ibadan Express Road, parked somewhere there, looked for passengers, and I got like 5 passengers, 1 person in front and 3 people at the back. So they paid me, so I used their money to enter filling station, and I fueled the car. I got full tank. I bought engine oil and I put inside the car. So I started moving, and just like what the mechanic said, trust me, the car, no matter how I tried to accelerate, I never moved more than 80. Now, as we're going, and don't forget that once the engine of a car is bad, it consumes more fuel, because you're giving pressure to the engine. So it consumes more fuel and more engine oil, right? So when I got driving and I got somewhere close to Owo, the car was giving me problem. I was stopped by the road to just add water, and all that. So there's one elderly man that was sitting in the front, noticed something was wrong. He didn't tell me anything until we got to Owo. Now, for anybody that leaves Lagos to Abuja, you know that there's always a stop in Owo, because Owo is like half of Lagos and Abuja. Now, people stop in Owo to either eat or buy fuel or whatever. Owo usually is like the center. So even if you do full tank of fuel in Lagos, once you get to Owo, you stop and buy fuel before you proceed. Or you come, you're hungry, you stop in Owo, you eat before. So it's like a park, and all that, So I got to Owo and I parked in the very popular filling station that people used to buy fuel and all that. So I parked there. And the man came to meet me, say, young man, he said, what's wrong with you? I said, nothing, sir. I said, no, there's something is wrong, but you don't want to talk. And I narrated my story for him, everything, how, in fact, it's them, I had to use their money to buy fuel that I got here. And I used almost all the money, so I didn't have any money with me again. The man now looked at me. He said, he's sorry for my situation, but there's nothing he can do about it. That the only thing he can do to assist me now is the other passengers in the car that is going to pay for their transportation into another car that will take them with him to Abuja. Me, I should find my way on how I go to Abuja. I said, fine. So he left me there. When he left me there again, of course, there's no way I would have bought another fuel. Do you understand? I now had to look for another passenger again from Owo to Abuja. So they paid me, I carried them, and I started another journey. Now, as we're going, when I got to Abaji, the fuel again got finished, because like I said, the pressure will make the car to consume more fuel. Now, when I got to Abaji, I got stranded again. The people, the other person, the next passengers I carried were so very, very harsh on me, and they were very insultive. They were just, but I was just calm because I knew it was my fault, and all that. But then immediately something just came to me, I just started thinking outside the box. I now remember that I had a car stereo inside the car. So in front of me where my car stopped, there was this guy that was selling engine oil and was selling fuel, black market on the road. So I parked my car and I walked to him and I told him, I said, I need 20 liters of fuel and I need 5 liters of engine oil, right? And I told him, I don't have money. So he looked at me, I was like, what's wrong with you, I said, but I have something I want to give to you. If you don't mind, if you want to assist me. He said, what is that? I said, can I remove my car stereo and give to you? It's worth more than the fuel and engine oil you're going to give to me, but take this because I'm stranded, sell it and recover your money, but give me 20 liters of fuel and the engine oil. So he agreed. Give it to me. I poured it inside the car and the engine oil too. And that was how I managed and I got to Abuja. And so when I got to Abuja, how do I face this woman became a problem, because I cannot go and tell her that the engine of the car is, nobody, even if you say you want to replace the engine, as at that time, the interest already must have been lost from the person placed there. So, so again, I was avoiding the woman. And one day I took a bold step and went and met her. I said, Madam, I came with the car, but unfortunately the engine is bad. So I need money to buy engine from the balance of what you are owing me. And the woman was very furious, angry, and she called the police for me. And so police came, took me to Zone 3 police station, and again, I was detained. So I slept in the police station. I think for like a day or so, towards evening, the police now asked me, how do I want to resolve the issue? I said, the truth is, I never intended to, and this thing can happen to anybody. So I pleaded, I said, let me buy another engine and fix for this woman. Then I will give her the car. I said, that's the only option. Or I sell the car again and go back and buy another car. She said she cannot be patient for me to go and buy another car. So, but then they agreed and gave me, I think, about 2 weeks to fix the engine of the car and bring the car to station. Now, what was my next option? To buy the engine, because I didn't have money to buy engine. My next option was to sell that my
The
Honda
own
Prelude
Prelude.
to buy engine for the woman. So now, I was meant to sell the Honda Prelude for within 350, 400. But because it was an urgency, I had to sell the Honda Prelude then for 280,000 naira,
Wow.
which I did. So already I am losing. And I had to buy another engine at 150,000 naira, which I did, fix the car, everything, bought alloy rim again, and that was the mistake I made because the car I saw that was nice had everything, had alloy rim, had everything. But then I followed the bad advice because I wanted to make more money,
More money.
you know? And so when I did that, the balance of the money with me from the 280,000 naira became around 120,000 naira. And with that 120,000 naira, which car will I going to afford? As at then, nothing. And don't forget again, I said I hadn't anything. So hunger is there. I must eat. I must do. That is how that 120,000 naira now gradually now got wasted. Now, I now had a dilemma and a problem again facing my father.
Because his capital has now disappeared.
100%. So it's another issue for me. Now, let me tell you, this story I'm telling you is the worst thing that has ever happened to me in my life. So I get very emotional when I talk about it because people don't understand what happened that period and how God made me to come back to who I am today. You know? And so within that same period, I was avoiding my father, and that was when my father fell sick. Felt very sick, and he kept telling them to tell me to come. He wants to see me, And I was scared. I was avoiding him. But again, at the background, I was still working hard and trying to see how I can bring myself back to life. One thing with me is that, trust me, I never give up in life. Trust me, I don't give up. Anything I want to do, and there's nothing that I have said that I want to achieve this that I don't achieve. That's one thing with me. And so, again, my father sent to me. I was dodging him, and anyway, one day I was bold enough. When they said my father was sick, I was taken to Mango. So I was bold enough. I said, let me leave. I said, even if he's going to kill me, let it be. So I was bold enough. I moved, came to Jos. The next day, I went to the Mango. Immediately, I just got to Mango. How? That was when I lost my dad.
Wow.
So it was the most difficult period of my life. So sorry, I have to break down. But of course, it's still, I think it's still part of
Part of the
the
journey.
story that people need to know. And I think it's still part of a man's journey in life that people have to know. Because a lot of people just think that you're coming from nowhere and you're living a life not knowing the journey that you've passed through.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's a very tough period for me then. And I usually, as emotional as it will be, I do not hide the story because there are other people too that probably are going or have gone through worse story than mine, and that's the truth. And so I like saying that to encourage other people too, that no matter what the challenge, it shouldn't be a breaking point for you to give up, right? And so I never give up. And so when I saw my father died, and before I know it, he was taken and was buried, and all that, And you should know again that accusation from family, and all that. So
Yeah.
it wasn't easy for me, and imagine my age then, and all that, But again, when I went for my father's burial, A lot of people were pointing fingers at me, doing what on what and what, but I was still knowing within my conscience that, it wasn't anything intentional.
Yeah.
And so I told my mom then something. My mom actually walked up to me and she said that she can see that I'm looking very, very peeled and that I'm really suffering in this Abuja, but I should just leave and come back to Shandam and stay with her, that no matter what it is, she will never lack food, to give me to eat or take care of me. And I was like, in my mind, I said, I will leave Makodi, where there are better opportunities than Shandam. I went to Abuja, again, where I'm seeing a better opportunity. Then I'll now come because I'm suffering to come back to Shandam. I said, no, I told her, I said, listen, I said, if I am going to be in Abuja and die with sufferness, I want to be in Abuja. I said, I will never come. I said, I'm not looking for comfort anymore at this point of my life. And I told my mom, looked at her, I told my mom, I said, see, I said, it's a matter of time that I said, I am going to make it and I'm going to make money. And I said, I am ready to suffer to prove a point. My mother refused that I'm not going. I battled her. I told her that if it means her, right, not talking to me in life again or disowning me, she cannot stop me. I will go. I told her that I said, I am seeing a lot of green light in my future, so I have to go. So she prayed for me and allowed me and I left. Now, in getting to Abuja again, my hustle changed because looking at all the things that are weighing me down in terms of having to prove to people that, I wasn't just wayward that made me not to, waste the capital and whatever. I started putting more effort again, in trying to get it right. Now, don't forget I said to you that I met a Plateau guy that I was staying with.
Yes.
So I went back to him and I got very dedicated to him. I practically served him, and that's the truth, So he had his cars there, and I was helping him to do a lot of things, selling the cars. Gradually, people began to know me better. Some of my friends started recommending people to me. Some people will come from outside the country and bring cars. They're looking for who to sell. They will call me, they'll give me. That's how I started having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars like that at the point, trying to sell. I'll sell them. I'll give the people their money. I'll make my profit. Then I started saving gradually. Now, that's the point where I want to really make emphasis, like I said, that in every business, integrity is the most integral part of every business, and that's the truth. One thing with car business, again, is one very, very sensitive business that people usually are not being sincere. You give them car to sell, they'll eat your money and tell you one story. People know these stories. Or you give somebody money to go and buy a car for you, you must hear one story or the other, right? Now, that thing that happened to me in Lagos shaped my head to know that, I just need to live upright for me to be able to succeed in the business. So, I spoke to myself. The best advice that anybody can get in this life is the advice that you as a person gives to yourself, not the one that anybody gives to you. Because that's what brings you to your senses and you sit down and think if you really want to get it right.
Yeah.
And so I spoke to myself and I told myself that you must live a straightforward life. And so I was doing that and people started recommending me. I'll tell you for free, go and write it till tomorrow. Nobody would ever tell you that I've eaten this morning. I know this video is going to go places. Trust me, I challenge anybody. Nobody will tell you that Kefas have eaten this morning. I can hit my chest and tell you that. And that's one thing that has kept me moving till tomorrow. Now, when I started doing that, before you know it, I started making some small money. And after that, I now had to buy my own car again. I made more than that money I lost, and all of that. So I started afresh. People's car, my own that I have again that I bought, I sold it. Before you knew again, I bought another one. Gradually like that, I started moving gradually, And before you know it, I have chain of people now trusting me more than everybody that they were doing transaction when they get in Abuja started giving me their cars.
Yeah.
So at a point, I became one of the major dealers in Abuja that had more cars than other people in their position, 90% or 95% of the cars then I can tell you belongs to people. Mine was just a little. Now, there's no business that you do in this life, I can tell you for free, that other people do not invest or have other things with you that you do at a particular point in time. So how the way you run the business and the way you handle it determines the kind of recommendation you get from people, and determines how big you're going to do in that business, right?
True.
And so that was my story. And so at the point when things were beginning to get settled for me was when El-Rufai now brought out a policy in FCT and drove everybody inside Abuja town that is selling car to go to Kuba Road. Right? But then almost everybody moved to Kuba Road, and I told myself, I said, Kefas, you went to school so that you can think differently from these Hausa people that are just selling cars on the road. I said, there's nowhere in the world that does not have a showroom inside the city town that you can sell your car. So no matter what El-Rufai does, if I'm able to secure a place and I made it different from how other people are doing transactions, I should be able to stay within the city center. So I took a bold step, and that's one thing with business. You must take a step, you must take a risk, but you must do a calculated risk. That is one thing with business. But risks you have to take. Now, I started first by every day assembling cars in that Zone 3 shopping complex that everybody has been driven out and taken to Kuba Road. I will go there, arrange like 5, 6, 7 cars there. People, I was getting patronage because people then were not used to Kuba Road. So driving to Kuba Road was better for you to look for somebody like me that is still inside the city. You understand? But again, there was a task force then too that El-Rufai did that was going around to, once they see you inside town with car, they seized it. Now, I started another battle of my life when I was in Zone 3 one day and immigration came with that task force and packed the vehicles that I displayed in the city center in Zone 3. They took them to the VIO, and like I said, most of them are not my cars. The people that give you the cars will not hear story.
Yeah.
So I went and battled. I won't lie to you. I bribed the VIO officials before they released the car to me. Now, they had come and continuously, I did not stop. My cars were seized up to like 3 times.
Wow.
Then one wisdom came to me, said, Kefas, but you have to think outside the box. What's the next thing for you to do? I now got 2 different people inside the task force that don't know themselves that I engage them, right? And I give them my number that anytime they are coming for operation, they should tell me. So I put them on allowance that once they give me the information, I give them. So before custom come, immigration, I've moved my cars, I've run away. So I kept doing that for months, but again, like I said, the patronage, at a point in Abuja, nobody, I repeat, I am on this thing is going to go like a national this thing right now. Yeah, trust me, nobody in Abuja had my patronage. Trust me, and so this thing began to expand, and then one day I told myself, I said, Kefas, you cannot continue doing this. Look for somewhere in Abuja, pay for it, and have a proper setting and a showroom, and nobody will harass you. So I just took a fit one day. I was driving around Abuja town looking for a place, that I can use as my showroom and whatever. I now discovered this place that I am today. When I discovered it, I didn't have money, but I had faith. I went into the place, looked at it, saw how big the place is, and all that. I now saw a number. I now called the number. We agreed to meet the next day. The next day we met. When we met, we had a discussion about the place, and they called a figure for me that since I've even started that business, I've not realized that figure, But I was very optimistic that place is mine.
It's yours.
So I left. So when I left, I met a friend of mine then that was doing very well. He's Then I didn't know about this Ponzi scheme thing. Trust me, but that was what he was doing. He was doing forex trading, as at that time, and he was doing very well. I don't want to call his name. He was doing extremely well. So I told him, I said, I want him to be part of my company. You get, explain the business for him, how he's going to go. And I said to him, I just need him to do an investment of 20 million. And I broke down to him the 20 million, what I was going to do. And he believed me. Meanwhile, he was my junior in school in a BSU, Benedict University. I didn't know that he knew me as at that time. I didn't know that he was looking up to me. I was somebody that he was admiring. Seriously. So the time me and him met in Abuja and I spoke to him, everything I asked him, he didn't say no because he was even glad that me and him, that he was trying to do things with me, So he gave me the money and I started. I rented the place, did everything, started putting up the structure gradually. But before then too, my car that I had then, I had to equally sell. So I became carless again, but I had other people's cars that are with me.
Using.
Now, the mindset for me, because then I started knowing the business to know that once I have a good location, I don't need to have a car of my own. People will bring the cars for me. And that was just what happened. Trust me, that was the transformation of my life ever. That's driving people from town to Kuba Road is what made me who I am today.
Wow.
110%. And that's why at times, some things that you see as a disappointment is definitely a blessing. Some things that you see that, this is going to disfavor you, or this is the end of you, will become a favor to you. Trust me. Now, like I said, my showroom till today stand in the history as the first showroom in Abuja town that started selling vehicle as a showroom inside town. 110%. Yes. And so that's how I started. And when I started building my showroom gradually, people from the Kuba Road were not making sales. A lot of them now approach me. I refused to collect cars from a lot of people because I just wanted to have an organized place. Now, again, I am the first car dealership in Abuja to have an administrative office, to have a manager, to have a secretary, to have an auditor, I am the first person. Everything you see in Abuja today, apart from all these Kocharis and Elizade, every other person in car business learned everything from me.
Wow.
And I can tell you for free that majority of the people having showroom in Abuja today, at a point were working with me, they were part of my staff that were working with me.
Amazing. So you literally built the system.
So I gave basically the background for car dealership, a modernized with showroom as far as Abuja is concerned. I was the first person to. And that's the truth. I challenge anybody to come out and say that I lie. Right? And so, immediately my business started picking up. That is when that's my friend that I said that gave me money. That was supposed to be part of the business. His business now crumbled at a go once. Wow. You know what it means to have issues with the forex transaction. And the next thing, he started disturbing me to give him back the money that he gave to me, And so I pleaded with him to give me time because I was in the plan. But again, before you know it, I started thinking outside the box. I was doing well, people would bring cars, give them their money. I was making my profit. That's how I started paying him until I paid him finish. And the company became mine alone. Right? Again. And I started pushing. Now, the next thing for me, I started applying for some government supplies and whatever. And almost all the people in Abuja today doing car business, I'm among the people that started doing supplies. And I'm among the first dealership to start paying government taxes in terms of value-added tax, withholding tax, and all that, as far as Abuja is concerned. I'm the first person to have a tax certificate. Trust me. Because I told myself, I said, Kefas, you have to get it right.
Yes.
You have to have a different structure and model that differs from other people's own. And that's the reason why you went to school, to study and just add a little knowledge to your day-to-day activity. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that has been the story. And that is how it is till today. And that is the story of Kefiano. And now, by the grace of God, in doing that, again, I am diversifying gradually. And that is how today you can see that, Chillers is in existence. It's not my major transaction. I have an interior and furniture, this thing. I have different other businesses. I have up to, if I'm not mistaken, 7, 8 different companies.
Wow.
For sure. Yeah, right now as I speak, and I just registered. I am now, by the grace of God, it's not just Kefiano Autos or Kefiano Global Concert. Right now, it is official with the CAC. Now it's a Kefiano Group because of
Kefiano
the
Group.
different companies that I have. So it has now
So now
become
they're subsidiaries
Kefiano
of the
Group because
group.
I have subsidiaries. That is it, and we're still pushing. And by the
Fantastic.
grace of God, now we're even going bigger by the grace of God. For anybody that's following me, know I just came back from China recently because I'm trying to diversify completely from electric vehicle. So far, it's from fuel to electric vehicle.
Are you
Because
serious?
electric vehicle is the future. I just came back from China like 3 weeks ago. I went and I signed MOUs with like 5 different companies. I am still going back to China in 2 weeks again because trust me, I am going fully into electric vehicle because electric
Amazing.
vehicle is the future. Electric vehicle has a lot of solutions to whatever we're facing today in Nigeria. With
Amazing.
electric vehicle, you can power your house. You can go off grid. With electric vehicle, you're solving the issue of light. You're solving the issue of constant servicing of vehicle. You get that's your overhead cost on maintenance is
Is
definitely going to drop like 80%. With electric vehicle again, you have zero emission,
carbon
and all
emissions,
that,
yes.
so it's crazy. Electric vehicle is the future, and by the grace of God, I want to be among the first key major drivers of electric vehicle in
In
Nigeria,
Nigeria.
which I think with all the basic facilities and structures that I'm putting on ground now, trust me, the only thing I can tell you is that they are going to catch us if they can. And by the grace of God, like I said again, one of my passion is Plateau. One of my passion is to show people on the Plateau that yes, no matter what it is possible for you to make it. It's possible for you to achieve your dream.
Yeah.
Now, I am going into electric vehicle not as just somebody that goes to buy and sell. No, I am doing and I'm going to start assembling and manufacturing electric vehicle.
Fantastic.
That is all that I am trying to do. And trust me, I am building my assembling plant factory here on the Plateau.
Whoa.
110%. I have acquired the land already. Everything is set. It's just for me now to do the necessary things I need to do. That's part of the reasons why I'm going back to China. And again, in doing that again, we must need government support and some individuals because there's a whole lot. Is a business that is going to consume nothing less than approximately at the starting point, nothing less than 25-30 million dollars. That's the truth. And you see me sitting down here today, I might not have the money, but look at it. It's going to be a reality. I'm going to come back here and tell you that I told you I would do it.
Yeah. Amazing. One thing that shines through in the conversations that you just shared, and especially, generally in your life, is your passion for Plateau State. You seem like, not just you are amazingly passionate about this place, about the young people here, about the potential here. What is driving you? What has given you this passion? Why Jos? Why Plateau State? I mean, you could be setting some of these things in other places and probably even get faster return on investment. Why here?
Yeah, good question. Trust me, amazing question. You see, I started giving back to Plateau State. If I'm not mistaken now, this is the 16th getting to 17th year that I started giving back, starting from widows, orphans, and all of that, right? Now, I have a passion based on my background. Like I said to you, I came from a poor home. And I know again that there are a lot of young people, right? A lot of young people that are looking for just small opportunity, just little push to get to where they need to get to. And coming back once in a while to Plateau State, I have discovered a lot of potentials in the state, both in human and the environmental potential.
Yeah.
Trust me. And that is why I keep telling people all the time that, listen, Plateau State is one of the richest states in Nigeria and by extension Africa. I can break this thing down for you in every aspect that you want. Trust me. Plateau State is one of the richest states. What we have here, a lot of people do not understand. You get, like I tell people all the time that The only thing Lagos has more than Plateau State is the water waves that they have. Lagos don't have what Plateau State have. But quite fortunate for Lagos, they have leaders that are able to transform that advantage they have into wealth creation
Into
for their
wealth
people.
creation.
And that's why they use that water waves for everything that you see in terms of shipment, in terms of all the sea port or all the sea, whatever it is, right? So that's the kind of advantage you take, right? And you create opportunities for people to make money. Now, coming down to Plateau, what is it that we don't have? Trust me. Like I keep saying now, the world economy before is dependent and reliant on what? Oil.
Oil.
But the whole thing now has changed. The world economy now is not dependent on oil. Trust me. The world economy is dependent on what? On minerals, agriculture, and IT, technology.
Technology.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Which again, that is where the human factor comes in, which is the human capital. Again, these are things that we have all in abundance as far as Plateau State is concerned.
Yeah.
Is it the mineral we have?
In
Is it the
abundance.
agricultural potentials we have?
Yeah.
You get? Is it the human? The human capital we have? So please, what are we lacking? The only thing that we're lacking here on the plateau is how the government can help the people to create an environment and create those things that we have on the plateau into wealth creation for our people. And these are going to be done only by the policies made by government, so that we can concentrate on what is called the local content and the local things that we have here on the plateau. Trust me, Plateau is one of the richest states that we have. If you ask me, I will tell you, I've done research again to know that's one of the richest people here on the plateau. We have billionaires on the plateau. We have millionaires on the plateau. Trust me.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the billionaires and the millionaires here on the plateau are not the indigenous of Plateau State. They are the Igbo, the Hausa, and the Yoruba communities. Go and do. And do a background check about what I'm talking about. Fast check me on this, and you'll see that the people that are living very comfortable here on the plateau are those group of tribes that I said to you. And these are people that have never gotten involved in governance as far as Plateau State is concerned.
Yeah.
So that means that Plateau State is not a civil service state. That means that Plateau State is a viable commercial state.
Commercial state.
Listen, tell me again, one of the things that gets me crazy is this, right? You will see a Chinese man that will fly all the way from his country 18, 19, 20 hours, right? Come down to Nigeria, and in Nigeria is not in Lagos, in Nigeria is not in Abuja, in Nigeria is here on the plateau, and on the plateau they are in our villages, Wasi and all that. What? Exhuming minerals. I can tell you for free now that this electric vehicle we're talking about is every component of what we have here on the plateau. It's lithium and lead and iron ore.
And we have it all here.
So what are we talking about? So we just need a platform that will be created for our people to take advantage of it. And again, my people have, I'm sorry to say, but that's the truth. A lot of us have a dead mindset and just dependent on politics and a civil service job. No, that's not the way forward. Trust me, I keep making an illustration every day, and I want to make this illustration right now again. I ask you a question. In every environment you find yourself today, in your street, in your locality, tell me, there's always one woman that have a kiosk and one either Mesuya man or me Shai man or somebody selling one little thing on your street. I challenge you that at every month, at the end of the month, before end of the month rather, every civil servant that is in that locality is owing that woman that have a kiosk or owing that man that is selling one thing or the other in that kiosk. So what am I saying? At the end of the day, you that is doing a white collar job, you are working for that woman that have a kiosk, because at the end of the month, you must pay her again, because before the end of next month, you are still going to collect credit. So what am I talking about? There's nothing like the private sector. There's nothing like you doing something for yourself. Trust me, and I think that is the mindset that our people needs to start having. And I think that is, again, one of the things that I am saying. I'm a driver of entrepreneurship as far as Plateau State is concerned. Now, going back to the question that you asked earlier on, my brother, let me say this. All that I am doing now is to encourage Plateau people and to tell them that it's possible. Trust me that there's nothing that is not possible in the private sector. Now, you see, chillers, I don't want to come here and tell you how much I spend. But for anybody that's a quantity surveyor can go there and check what is on the ground, the facilities, and can come out with a figure on its own so that you know how much has sink down there. I don't talk about these things because I don't do this investment to think of what I have spent. If I do that, I would not sleep. Trust me. But then I do it because of the love I have for people. I do it because I want to teach a lot of people a lot of things. Now, Chillers, as far as it's concerned today, we have employed 186 staff. That's the staff we have today in Chillers. By extension, we are more than that. Now, because you have some PR people that basically they live on commission and all that, and by extension again, those 186 people again have families that they feed.
They are supporting.
Do you understand? So we are creating job employment, but that is not really what I want. I want the people that are coming to Chillers to work to should learn one or two things. Now they can equally start a little thing at their own locality. So what am I trying to say? Now, the money I have spent in doing Chillers, if I spend half of that money doing something in Abuja, Lagos, or Port Harcourt, which is where the money is, trust me, I'm going to be making more money. So it's not about the money for me. It's about the passion that I have for the state. It's about the passion that I have for my people to get expanded in terms of entrepreneurship and business. I want people to begin to take their minds out of the normal civil service job and take themselves into the private sector that we are. Today, I am financially independent. I can tell you this for free. I'm not being boastful. And that is why there's no politician on the plateau that can use me. No, because you cannot tell me what I know is not right. And you cannot make me do what is not right. Why? Because I don't need anything from you. Trust me, the highest I can do with anybody on the plateau is business. I don't know whether you understand.
I do.
And that's the truth. And so there's nobody that I cannot look at his face and tell him the truth.
Yeah.
And that is what we are lacking. Now, there's a saying in Hausa that ba'a mungung sarki sai dai mungung fadawa, and that's the truth. It then means that you cannot have a bad king without bad advisors, and that's the truth. And now the crop of people we have as advisors today are people that cannot look at the governor and tell him, Your Excellency, I don't think this is right. I think we should do this, and this is my reason. With that boldness, right, knowing that what you are saying is right. I don't know whether you understand.
I do.
And that's the truth. And so, once you are financially independent, you will do what is right. And the government will respect you and the government will listen to you because there's nobody that has a monopoly of knowledge or ideas. And that's the truth.
Very true.
And so, if we today, Plateau begin to have people in the private sector that have what it takes for them to do what is right in governance, trust me, Plateau State is going to be a better place. Trust me. I am not saying our governor is not doing what is right, or neither am I criticizing anybody. But when it comes to saying the truth, we have to say it the way it is. The governor is doing his best. I can tell you for free. Recently, they took me to Back Farm, which I think you followed me there.
Yeah.
You get, they are trying to expand the agricultural potentials that we have. Which I just said to you again, the major drivers of the economy in the world, agriculture is part of it.
Yeah.
What is it that we don't have here on the plateau? We have arable land. We have fertile flat land for farming that we cannot even cover. And that's the truth. And these are things that we can use in wealth creation. You understand? And I think by the time I start Back Farm with the government and they really give me the support that I needed and I go into it, trust me, a lot of narrative is going to be changed. Why? Because I am looking at a better approach to agriculture here on the plateau. And that will give me an opportunity to start discussing with the governor and telling him some of the ideas that I have. Now, let me say this. Every local government on the plateau can be industrialized. I say this without blinking an eye. Trust me. Every local government on the plateau can be industrialized. And every local government on the plateau has its own peculiarity. Take me to anywhere on the plateau, I will tell you the potentials in that local government. That's the truth. If you go to the Birium speaking area, Riom, whatever, there's nowhere that we farm acha like that. We can do acha in a commercial quantity.
Yes.
And acha can be sold out
in the international market.
Why? Because acha is medicinal for diabetes patients.
Yes.
What are we holding back for? You go to Bokos, we have potato. We can sign contract with multinationals, you get, like KYC and all that, and be supplying them potatoes. You can have a processing mill in Bokos. Go to mango, what do? We have maize. We can turn maize into flowers. Go to Shandam, we have rice. We can have rice meal and do everything. Go to Kanam, they have what is called cotton.
Cotton. Oh.
110%. There's nowhere on the plateau that doesn't have its own peculiarity. So we can industrialize plateau. Is doable. And in terms of agriculture, there's a way that the government too can identify the large scale farmers, medium scale farmers, and small scale farmers. And the government can support the large and medium scale farmers to produce more. How do they do it? They can stand in between the gap for them as collateral to get some funding, even from federal government or from Bank of Industry or from CBN. Yes, it's doable and it's possible. By the time you identify those farmers and have their database, you don't have to give them money. No, all you need to do is to give them the farming equipment. You stand as a collateral for them. Give them the farming equipment. By the time you give them the farming equipment, you have a platform where you monitor whatever you give to them. Now, in doing that, you must help them with security, because what we're lacking on the plateau is security, which is another topic that we need to discuss about seriously. Right? And some of us are thinking outside the box when it comes to that too. But again, you must provide them with security for the large scale farmers, for them to be able to succeed. You must provide them with all the farming equipment, and in providing them farming equipment, right? I don't want you to give them for them to start renting. No. We need to have a holistic program for government to stand in for them as a collateral. Now, we must have a design program in such a way that you give them these farming products. You give them improved seedlings, right? You now give them fertilizer. You have an agency that monitor their farming period, and their farming activities. You understand? And at every harvest time, which the government now is trying to do, which is the right thing, I think it's through PIDA or whatever it is, right? Yeah, that they collect the farm produce during the harvest period. It then means that every farmer, government is going to be his off-taker. Now, government should be the off-taker, right? To be able to collect this farm produce, sell them, and give the farmers probably half of the farm produce for them to feed their family and again prepare for the next farming season. But they have you collected from them. You sell them and begin to pay back their loans. I bet you in 2-3 farming seasons, they must have paid back every loan that you have collected or stood surety for them. And by so doing, if they do that, that means the farming equipment become theirs. And then they become independent fully. These things are not rocket science. That means that you're empowering the people, you're taking them out of the normal civil service, this thing that we are, and we begin to have Plateau coming back to life the way it has to come back to, or the way it is. I can begin to talk on and on and on. Trust me. When it comes to this, in terms of anything that will begin to transform Plateau into an economic hub, trust me, leave me to that. I can. Anytime you wake me up, I have a lot on my head. Is it about the mining sector? The mining sector have a lot of potential that Plateau only can never explore. I bet you this. Trust me. So, Plateau State is one of the richest states as far as Nigeria is concerned. And I am watching some of the policies that the governor is trying to push. He is in the right direction, but I just want to plead that the people, the managers of those policies, should definitely have to key into his dream and should be professionals that would do it the right way for us to be able to get results. It's not about appointing people, it's about people that knows how to do the right thing.
Right thing. Yeah, amazing. Whoa. Wow. That's a lot to unpack there. One thing that you mentioned is the attitude. I want to take you back a little bit in terms of thinking, solution thinking. The attitude of the average young guy or young lady here to work. How do you think that can be, how do you think we can experience a shift for the better with respect to their attitude to work, attitude to business or entrepreneurship or, that kind of stuff?
I think what you are doing now with a whole lot of what some of us are trying to do and push a narrative is what is going to help solve the issue. We need a lot of orientation, trust me. And not just orientation, we equally need a whole lot of government backing and support. Now, part of the ideas that I think that I have that I'm suggesting to government is, please, let's have entrepreneurship skills training for our youths. Let's identify youths quarterly or after every 6 months. This is not too much for government to do. You get, and with the kind of spirit Barrister Caleb Mutfan has, trust me, if he gets the right people advising him and the right people to handle that program, we can achieve this. Now, we can have a program that identifies, even if it's just 15 youths and women in different local government here on the plateau, to train them in different areas of skills acquisition and in different areas of entrepreneurship skills. Trust me, and after the training, right, we have a package for a startup for those people trained in that area of entrepreneurship and interest. By the time you give them startup, you must have a platform and a database that have these people's contact, these people's numbers, and these people's whole identity. Now, the startups, you monitor them in such a way that they do not have to mismanage it. And the startup must not even be monetary. I am against monetary startup 110%. Once you train somebody in any area of skills acquisition and entrepreneurship, please provide him with those things first that's going to help him start up. Right? My going to China has opened my eyes to a lot of things. I can tell you for free that every successful man in China is being sponsored by the Chinese government.
Wow.
110%. And we can have that same platform here. Now, I'll give you my experience. Like I said, I was in China for 3 weeks. The agents that took me around all the companies I went through, there are 2 different agents, right, for different states that took me around. Do you know that my accommodation, my flight, my internal flight ticket, because I went to 7 different cities, my internal flight ticket, my accommodation, my feeding, I never paid a dime.
How?
Yes. Those agents were the one paying it. You understand? And once I was about to leave, they now compiled everything I have spent and gave it to me that this is how much you have spent for all your movements. If you go back, you can now do the refund for us. So if you're comfortable to do the refund for us here now, fantastic, do it. Wow. And I was amazed. And they said, yes, they are official agent from government, the Chinese government. And they're recognized and they have their license. And the Chinese government is the one that usually gives them money so that the people that come will have ease of doing things.
Wow.
Do you understand? Then immediately I came back, I paid back the money to the agent, and the agent have refunded back to the government. So anytime I'm going again, the government reimburses them. Wow. These things are doable.
Wow.
You understand? So we can have same type of system. We can practicalize some of these things, and these things are doable. See, the major thing is for us to do training, have the database of these people, make sure that you have genuine, shorties for these people, that you can have somebody that can go get most of this equipment and come and give them for startups. Listen, the jobs are not there. I am saying this for the youth to hear. If you're waiting for a white-collar job, it's not there. IT, technology have come to take over the human space in terms of doing anything. And that is why robot today is doing the job of a man. So if you're waiting to keep having jobs to do, you are wasting your time. Think of the problem in your area and find a solution. Solution is money making. It's as simple as ABCD. And there are so many solutions to be solved as far as we are alive. And trust me. And that is the way forward. Listen, Plateau youths are very intelligent. I can see. But again, there's something that I don't really blame them. Like I keep telling people at times, a lot of these youth grow up seeing their parents taking their bath in the morning as early as 8 o'clock, going to the office. And once they close from 4 or 5, they come back. That's all. And so their mindset is directed towards that. And that is why some of us are saying, no, that is not what has made us who we are. We're saying the private sector is the way forward. And I will tell you this, and I tell the government of Plateau State, the government of Nigeria, listen, if you don't invest in human capital development, we will never get anywhere. And the human capital development is that of entrepreneurship and that of skills acquisition. right?
Yeah.
Listen, you can't beat it. Why? Because the driver of every economy, 70-80%, whether local government, state, federal, is the private sector. You can't beat it.
Yes.
And the private sector cannot succeed without the government policy and the government support. It's not rocket science.
Wow. I've just been going wow like an ambulance in this session. Okay, so finally, I want to ask, as a serial entrepreneur, how have you been able to build a system across all of these companies that you've talked about, all of these various expressions of
The
yourself?
system is based on my experience. Coming back, like I said to you.
Yes, sir.
Right? Experience will help you build system. And you must know what you are doing for you to be able to build the system in that thing that you do. Now, all of this app you see that people use is not rocket science. It's part of their experiences and things they know that makes them build an app, right? To solving solutions.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, what do I mean? Now, recently some young men came to me, they're trying to open a food bank, right? It's as simple as ABCD. Now, they used to go to the market. They used to know there are difficulties for people who go to the market to buy things, right? So they are trying to create a solution out of that. What is the solution they're trying to create? Now, for them, they've created an app that you can key into the app, right? It will show you a variety of wholesalers around your area. You get, you can locate anyone that you want to locate, you get, and you order for food stuff. Again, they give you a room to always have a wallet that have money inside. Do you understand?
Yeah.
These are people solving problems. Do you understand? So, like I said, my experience in business today, there's nothing about car business that you tell me that I cannot do. I can sit down with a young man, even if I'm not too perfect with technology, but I can give you an idea that will make you create an app for me to find solution in the automobile industry, which is what I am doing already. Trust me. Like the electric vehicle that I'm trying to showcase right now, yeah, I am trying to create a platform or an app that it will be easy for you having a wallet too or a card that you can easily go to somewhere that have a power station, right? For you to swap and buy power and just move. These things are out of the experience that I have.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes,
and
sir.
that is how, again, from the experience that I have, again, all the other companies I am trying to do, I'm using the same experience but in different form, right? To be able to push those businesses to grow. You understand? And again, whether you like it or not, once you're doing any business and you're perfect in it, the next thing for you to do is begin to think of how to diversify.
Yeah.
Diversification is very important for anybody that want to succeed in life and want to do well. Trust me, because your business might not be doing 100% well all the time. You must have a backup, which is very important, right? And that is why, based on your question, I said earlier on, I said, in everything that you're trying to do, don't ever be in a hurry to make it. Always pass through the ladder. That ladder will give you experience that is sustainable until the day you leave this world.
Wow. Just taking from that which you just said right now, it is the process that helps you to actually understand how to even build the system.
100%.
So if you don't have, if you try to jump the process,
you can't cut
then you
corners.
can't build any
I
sustainable
said,
system.
anytime you are in a hurry to make it in life and you always want to be on the fast lane, is the most that you must make mistake, and that mistake is what is going to bring you down. Follow through the ladder. Follow through the process. The process is difficult. The process is challenging, but the process is what determines what your future is going to be.
Amazing.
Experience is what nobody, no money can give to anybody. Trust me.
Amazing. I think that you need to listen to this session like 3 times. After listening to this one the first time, find a jotter and a pen. And really, because this is a proper business masterclass that we have just gone through. Proper business masterclass that we've gone through. You need to be able to go back. There's so many points that you probably didn't hear right now that you hear the next time that you're listening to. Amazing. Thank you so much, sir. If you have any final words, I can take it.
I have a lot of final words. The words can never be final because, trust me, it's a process. What we're talking about is a process, especially coming from an environment and a background that people are not used to. And you see, that is why I am doing a lot of things that I'm doing here on the Plateau deliberate. And you see, for people that have been following me, I keep saying something. Whatever I am doing here on the Plateau for people and the businesses that I'm setting up here, trust me, it's not for any political reason. No. I am very comfortable that I don't need politics to survive by the grace of God. I am not doing anything for any political reason. I'm telling you, I am doing this because I want to make a mark. In my life, all that I keep telling people, all that I keep saying is, I just want to be remembered by how many lives I have touched in my life. What is the impact that I have made while alive? Because very soon, this year, I'm going to become 50. Before you know it, in another 20 years, I wouldn't have anything else to start doing. I'm going back to my retirement. Trust me, in fact, the way I'm planning my life now, before I get to 60, my assembling and manufacturing plant already is in place. Now, the next thing is for somebody or my son to take over whatever investment that I've done. The next thing, I'm going to be back there just being advisory, right? I'm pushing forward. And that is the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm doing the things that I'm doing today. Now, I opened the creative hub here on the Plateau. I spent my money. I don't want to tell you how much I spent. I have spent money. I have trained nothing less than, if I'm not mistaken, over 300 youths on different skills. Ask them, have anybody ever paid me a dime, 1 naira? No. It's because I am trying to push a narrative that I've been trying to preach, that you can live and make a living out of a lot of things without begging anybody for anything. And you see this life, I want people to listen to me very well, yeah, and know that once you have financial independence and you're doing well, trust me, politicians will talk to you with respect. Trust me, not seeing you as a beggar. A lot of people will go to somebody's house and they'll stay at the gate for so many hours. Why? Because you're becoming a burden and a pest. There's no way every time you come and beg that somebody doesn't get tired. It's not possible.
Yeah.
You get it? But if somebody is seeing you as somebody that's coming with idea, somebody's like someone that is coming with something that you do for both of you to make money, or even for the person to make a living, do you get? Trust me, the person will encourage you. Because I keep telling people, you see, no matter the money that you have, if people around you are not comfortable, you are not a rich man.
Yeah.
Because you are going to keep giving.
Very true.
Do you understand?
Very
But then,
true.
if you empower people, human capital, trust me, it lessens the burden on
Your
you.
shoulders.
And that is why I am doing all I can to push and see that people learn to do some things. Now, recently, the person in charge of my creative hub, I was even so mad at him because when I opened Chillers, I told him, I said, listen, from the opportunities therein in Chillers, for people that you've trained in
creative hub.
photography, people that you train in engineer, in computer stuff, people that you train in what's it called?
Social media management.
Yeah, social media handles too, and what's it called? This
Videography.
no, apart from videography, this is what is it called? This design that you do before sending out.
Graphic design.
Graphic designs, and all that. I said, I expect you to employ some of these people that you have trained into Chiller so that I can see the skills, whether you trained them well or not. Because you have to give them opportunities too.
Very true.
Do you understand? Because at times you train people, you don't give them opportunity, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's all I'm trying to do. And I'll tell you for free, not to flatter anybody, by going to China again, I've opened my eyes to a lot of things. A lot of things. I don't know whether this year, because I have a lot of things that I want to achieve in this life, a lot. But the problem is the capital. You cannot do everything at the same time. But trust me, the opportunities in China are crazy. So I am looking at, before the end of this year, or maybe next year, but go and write it down that I said I am going to do this. I want to start importing a whole lot of different items from China. I will come here. There are a lot of youths that I'm going to have their database here, right? That I will train in terms of marketing, and I'll give them these things to be selling I'm not collecting money from anybody, but as I give you, you go and sell, you make your profit, you bring me back my capital. I just want to be pushing as much as I can push until we get the narrative right.
Wow. Whoa. Amazing. Thank you so much, sir. Finally, I just remembered what is your biggest inspiration? Or what are, if it's more than one, your biggest inspirations?
Your question is relative, right? I don't understand where you're driving out in terms of the inspiration, but I think my biggest inspiration is myself and trying to get it right by myself.
Okay.
And that is why I tell everybody that I don't have a competitor in this life. No. My biggest competitor is myself, my personal self.
Yeah.
And that is why I don't look at anybody to be my competitor, because if I see you, that's where the devilish mindset comes to me, right? Trying to do some things that will hurt you or do something wrong. No. My biggest competitor is myself, right? So I keep talking to myself every day of my life, and I know where I want to get to and the target I'm trying to set for myself.
Yeah.
You understand? And I have a lot of vision and a lot of inspirations and a lot of things. You get, but again, whether you like it or not, there are people that you get will make that your inspiration, right? To continue to grow.
Yeah.
You understand? I look at people that have succeeded in life, right? And I want to be like them. And I keep telling myself, and that's one thing I want people to know, that me, Kefas, sitting down here, I do not have two heads. And that is the same way I look at people that are better than me. I tell myself that they do not have two heads. They have one head. That one head I have, that one head that they have is the one head that you have. And you can use that one head to get to whatever place you want to get to in life. Trust me. Part of the inspiration that pushed me, even when I was growing, when I going out, the day I got to Abuja, like I said to you, trust me, is when I look at the high rising, look at some of the things in Abuja, I told myself, I said, people that have this do not have two heads. They must have done something right for them to get it right, right? And those were the kind of advice until tomorrow, the kind of things that I said to myself. And trust me, if you who want to get it right, you should talk to yourself, and it's possible for you to get it right. The inspirations are so many, but the major inspiration for me is my personal self. I know what I want to achieve, and I set a goal and target for myself, and I go by the rules and I go by it. It's not easy. It's a whole lot of discipline, but again, you have to get it right. Even the Bible said you should punish your flesh at times to get some things right. And that is just the journey of life too, and the journey of Christianity. You can't beat that, trust me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. I really do appreciate your time and how much you've poured. You've poured out so much in this session, and I'm really excited that you were able to come and be a part of what we're doing here at Just That. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I mean, there's not so much I can even add to this. So I look forward to seeing you at the next episode. Watch this one again.
Anyway, before the episode ends, I think I have a platform again to talk to my people and talk to the people of Plateau State.
Okay.
On a very serious note, one of the major challenge we have as far as Plateau is concerned is the insecurity that we have here on the state. I want to use this medium again to talk a little bit about it. You see, from the way things are going, nobody will come and protect us than we protecting ourselves. I keep saying this, and I will continue to say this. Now, the government can only do their best. The government have a lot of other things to look up to and to attend to. But again, of course, security is one of the primary aim and objective of every government that should be in place. But again, if it's becoming overwhelming, listen, we have to do things right to protect ourselves, right? And after saying that, I'm not going to go into more details because, of course, it's not everything that you sit in the public and begin to talk about it, right? The governor is doing his best from all that I have seen and have been briefed about, but at times the government too can be very handicapped because the security is in the hands of the federal government. At times, the citizens, they want to act, but who are the people that will enforce what they want them to be enforced? Don't take orders from them. So we need to look at it holistically. Federal government has its own flaws. The state government have where it needs to sit down by his people and create a local solution, because we must have a local solution to the problem.
Yeah.
If the federal government is failing us, we must have a local solution. Part of the local solution here, I will say, is this. Listen, we must always have a community and a town hall meeting with our people. It's a must. Our traditional rulers are key to keeping our environment safe, whether we like it or not. The youth are key to keeping our environment safe, whether we like it or not. The local vigilantes are key to keeping our environment safe, whether we like it or not. The local government chairmen are key to keeping our environment safe or not. You see what I just mentioned now? That is the group of people I want the government to constantly have a town hall meeting with them and find a solution. Part of the solution is even providing small phones for the locals, that if they see anything, they should make calls immediately. Listen, we must protect ourselves, and part of it again is to find a solution within the traditional institute and the cultural groups to find a solution on how our people can protect themselves. Listen, we must protect ourselves. The security situation is more than Governor Caleb Mutfan. And I want to say that for any Plateau person that wants to take advantage of this killing to make a political statement, God will not forgive him.
Yeah.
And I say this with every passion in me, that nobody should politicize what is happening on the Plateau, because it is not a political issue. Nobody should take advantage of that and begin to talk about PDP government. No. It's a time that all of us need to come together as Plateau people to find a solution to this problem. Whether you're APC or PDP, I don't care. And this is the time again that the governor must think outside the box to call everybody, regardless of your political party, and let's sit down as family on the round table. What is the solution to our problem? Because we must have a solution to the problem. And we have a solution to the problem. And I was telling somebody that from today, Kefas, if any church gathering or any cultural group call me for any fundraising, I will not again give anybody money, because if I go to give money for you to build church in your locality and the locality is not safe and these people come again and burn down the church, what have we done? Nothing. Money. So the first things first, as far as Plateau State is concerned, all the cultural tribes start raising funding for security in your locality. Thank you very much. I say this without no regret. If anybody wants to arrest me, I don't care. But my people have died a lot. But again, before I go, we must balance it. All the criminal Plateau people that are rustling cows for the Fulanis or killing them should stop, because at times they are part of the problem. We have criminals amongst us. Now, the locals too should expose any criminal Plateau person amongst us. If we want to do it holistically, we are going to have a problem to Plateau situations. Thank you.
Whoa. That was, I think that's just a drop mics moment. Just drop mic. So, everyone that's watching, thank you so much. Listen to this again. Let's go back again. And I really do hope that, especially the last things you said, I really hope they get to the right people. The local government, from the local government to the wards, everybody. We need to begin to take certain steps, take certain actions to ensure that the well-being of the people is kept, paramount, over and above everything else. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And thank you once again. I'll see you in the next episode. Do take care.